Hello and welcome back to another one of Paul's beer reviews. I hope you're doing well. I've got a brand new beer from possibly my favourite brewery in the world. It's Sierra Nevada over in California, or Wild River. Is it North Carolina? Is it Wild River? I'm sure it's called Wild River. Yeah, other site. They've got two sites. Not sure where this one came from, whether it was a North Carolina site. Mills River, Wild River. So yeah, Chico, California, and Mills River, North Carolina, and this is their atomic torpedo, brand new, 8.2% ABV, described as a juicy West Coast double IPA. Yeah, in a pint can as well. This was released last week. Got my order in straight away. Got a couple of cans of it along with my usual stock up of pale ale, Sierra Nevada pale ale. Absolute all-time classic, one of my all-time favourite beers. But yes, I was really excited about this because they initially said that this was going to be Sierra Nevada's attempt at blending East Coast with West Coast. So they said they wanted to produce like a slightly juicier version of Torpedo. If you've had Torpedo, they used to sell that in M&S Torpedo. It's technically it's a double IPA, really hoppy. Brewed in their torpedo-shaped boiler at Sierra Nevada, and it's a double IPA, hoppy as hell. It's a proper West Coast IPA. It's an absolute banger. This one is the Atomic Torpedo, and they say they've gone for a juicier version, so they wanted to kind of combine elements of the East Coast or New England IPA with their sort of standard piney, bitter West Coast IPA. They're starting to become more and more common, that style of beer. We kind of refer to them over here as mountain IPAs. And I'm a massive fan because I do enjoy a New England IPA. But sometimes I find them just a bit too juicy. And you lose that kind of beer element. So the mountain IPA is like the perfect style. Because you get that juicy element, that refreshing element. But you get that nice piney bitterness at the back end that you want from the West Coast. I love Torpedo. I'm expecting this to be probably a slightly more ramped up version of that. So here's the can. Atomic Torpedo. Lots of hops all over it, so they're not messing about. So 19 fluid ounces, 1 pint, Sierra Nevada Brewing Co. Yeah, it's the nuts with the Sierra Nevada logo. Hops all over it. Doesn't say much on the can. Government warnings. That's about it. Nothing in the way of ingredients. This was packaged on, make that out. Alright, so 11th of January. Blooming Americans, they do things backwards, don't they? So 11th of January this was canned. It's made its way over to us. This is what, the end of February now. So let's get this Atomic Torpedo into a glass. I've got my Sierra Nevada glass out especially. So we can get it a nice big head. Yeah, we can. And it's spilled. I spilled. Let's put that there. Atomic Torpedo. Oh wow. Look at that. Look at the colour of that. That is stunning. You can see the carbonation rushing up the glass. That head is not going anywhere. That's a 2.5 finger foamy looking white head. There's a crazy carbonation on it. It looks the part. It looks the part in its Sierra Nevada glass, I've got to say. I'm well happy with that. That looks wonderful. Let's see if I can get my snout through that big head. I see what the aroma's telling us. Hops, hops and hops. More hops. But it does smell juicy. There is definitely a New England style coming out on the aroma. A touch of mango, touch of tropical fruit. Mango. Tiniest bit of pineapple. Bit of citrus. So it's just calming down now. The head's just going down. But that looks the part. That really looks the part. There's loads to in there. I made a great big puddle on the table. Never mind. It smells wonderful. Let's get stuck in, shall we? Cheers. Whoa. Yeah, that'll do. It's certainly juicy. It's certainly juicy than what I come to expect normally from Sierra Nevada. Certainly juicier than the original Torpedo, that's for sure. There's orange, there's pineapple. Orange, pineapple, touch of grapefruit. But that bitterness, that pininess, it cannot wait to get at you. It's definitely West Coast, more West Coast heavy, but you'd expect that, right? It's got a fantastic hoppy bitterness, but that juice that I spoke about, that New England element, that slightly fruitier, slightly juicier flavour that you get on the arrival, it does hang about. It doesn't just fade and get swamped by the pininess and the hoppiness and the bitterness at the back end. It holds its ground. It hangs around, and you're left with a really nice, to be fair, a really nice balanced combination of the two. And I tell you what, I can now feel a little bit of warmth. This is not hiding its ABV. You are very much aware that you're drinking an 8.2% IPA. This is fantastic. This is exactly what I hoped it would be. Oh, it's big, juicy, piney, hoppy. It really is. Oh, wow. Yeah, and that pininess in particular, it is bitter, but that piney characteristic really hangs around. It's really pronounced. I think Sierra Nevada have gone to town with this one. They really have. This is hoppy as a mother fudger. It's big. It's a big IPA. Excuse me. But it works. It works. The juiciness to it. They've upped the juice. They've upped the I don't know what, doesn't say what variety of hop they've used. I mean, there's definitely Cascade in it, without a shadow of a doubt. But what else they've put in it to give it that slightly juicier edge, I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to do my research and find out. Oh. Juicy. Well carbonated. Not over the top, but nicely carbonated. And then just as you're getting used to that kind of slightly tropical, slightly citrusy flavour, boom, in comes the pininess and the bittiness. The bitterness. And it really clings at your gums and your tongue. And then you feel a little bit of warmth. There's a bit of hoppy warmth to it, to go with that alcohol. It tastes fresh, even though it was canned sort of the middle of last month. I bought this from the Cascade Club, Sierra Nevada Cascade Club. I'll put a link in the description below. You can't get a lot of Sierra Nevada beers over here in the UK. And one of the other companies that I did get Sierra Nevada beers from have just gone under. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in another video I've got coming up. So I became a member of the Cascade Club, which is a Sierra Nevada officially licensed online store that gets exclusive Sierra Nevada beers in the UK, being limited stock, right? So yeah, it's this is one that, say, came out last week. It was I think I paid $4.95 a can. I bought 2 of them, and I regularly go on there and buy a pack of pale ale. I always like to have pale ale in the fridge somewhere. I needed a new pack of pale ale, and I wanted to get a couple of these, and I'm so glad I did. Like I say, £5 basically for an imported big West Coast double IPA. It does everything I want it to do. It's refreshing. It's got a bit of body to it as well. It's got quite a considerable amount of body. The carbonation just does enough. It's not crazy, but it's there. Good body to it. Massive, piney, bitter, hoppy finish to it. And it hangs around, but it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. And there's a balance. Again, there's a balance to it. Granted, the pininess, the bitterness to it is the most pronounced element to this beer. But that juiciness that you get up front, that slightly more New England, East Coast element that they've gone for in the brew, it hangs around. You can still taste it now. I can still taste that juiciness to it, that citrus, that slightly tropical flavours. I can still taste it. They've nailed it. Again, Sierra Nevada have nailed it. They've done what they set out to do, and they brewed another extraordinary beer. But it is boozy. It is boozy. I can feel the booze. I can feel the warmth from that 8.2. This is an extraordinary IPA. It really is a cracking beer. And again, we're looking at least I'm looking at another early contender for beer of the year. Again, it does everything I would expect a good West Coast double IPA to do. It does everything I'd want a good West Coast double IPA to do. But then add to that little New England element that gives it a slightly more balanced, more maybe approachable appeal to people who perhaps aren't as much into West Coast IPAs. It's a banger. It's an absolute banger. Atomic Torpedo. Juicy West Coast DIPA with a slight New England juicy twist. 10 out of 10. All day long. I'm going to savour the rest of this. I've got another one in the fridge. But I think I might save it. So I've got things I've got to do. But yeah, I'm going to save that. So once again, Sierra Nevada with their Atomic Torpedo. That's a 10 out of 10. That's an extraordinary beer. Absolutely glorious. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I've really enjoyed doing it. Give it a thumbs up if you've liked it. I really do appreciate that. And until my next one, you take care.